Adam Matthews at left back, because you know you're just going to show Barcelona inside all the time because they're not going to put balls in the box. And we're sort of in that position at the minute because teams know we're not going to just fling balls into the box.
Aye.
We need that striker. We need that.
I always thought that going way back the old Huns, you know, when they signed Mark Hateley, had a pretty crap first season, if you remember. They'd done one of the stupidest things they ever done was the second season they went out and bought Dale Gordon, Peter Hoostra, a winger at either side of him, just fired balls at him all day, and he looked like a fucking superstar.
Yeah,
because they played to his strengths. As you say, Harper, you bring this guy in, he's 6'1", he looks the part, wingers either side of him firing balls in all day. It's another great attacking option. Especially when if you have got defensive fullbacks, you can allow your wingers to say, right, just go and attack them all day.
Yeah. And this guy has scored a plethora of his head. So since the days of Harps and Sutton, we've not really had somebody, and obviously Larson, but we've not really had somebody with they'll put their head where somebody's boot is and get a goal for us. You know, that's what kind of been missing. Big Jan was not too bad as well, But it's been a wee while anyway since we've had somebody like
that. Just reading through some news here. I didn't know Roy Hodgson and Ronnie Dale had a relationship.
But like in bed.
Hodgson coached him when he was a player at Viking how the fuck do you say these names? Stavanger, and basically just sort of said, solid guy, knows a lot about football, loves football. I mean, I just all these sort of things keep coming up with Ronnie Dale that kind of give you more hope in what he's doing, because he seems very, very level-headed, very straight talking. I mean, he doesn't seem to be overawed by the challenge that he's undertaken here, and especially like most other managers would be in a nervous wreck at this stage if this is their first experience of Celtic, but he doesn't seem to be that fazed by it.
We're taking a check at 11 o'clock tomorrow night, Joe.
Do you know what's quite depressing? I think this is the first time in my life I've been older than the Celtic manager. Jesus Christ.
Really?
That's a fair point.
1975 he was born.
Yeah, I tell you what,
he's 39. Do you know what I mean? What's going on there?
Do you want to feel old? I was cleaning out I've rearranged this room here where I'm to do the podcast from. I was going through stuff. My daughter pulled out 2 old cassette tapes of Celtic songs. And she just held them up and she goes, "What are these?" I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." I felt extremely old at that point. She doesn't know what cassette tapes are. But, yeah, Dale, I mean, obviously we don't want to start, slapping each other in the back yet, going, "Isn't this fantastic?" until we get past tomorrow night at least, and then look further on down the line. But I think at the minute things look pretty good. They're pretty promising. Players coming in.
Here's a good question for you then. I've got a tweet here for Mark Spark at the Mark Conroy, and he says, "HomeBhoys, whatever happened to Fred Johnson?" What's happened to him?
Well, he's still there. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Because there was talk of when he came in, even though he was so young, this is a guy who's not going to be far away for the first team. And we've never seen him.
I know.
Seen him at friendlies, haven't we? That's about it, really. Or has he even played in any friendlies?
I don't know. Can't remember.
No, really, no.
But I remember him being paraded, like in his picture with the scarf and the stand and stuff. And that's generally for guys who are, of note.
The guy in the chat room saying Fred Johnson, it's Finn Boxon. That's what you meant, wasn't it?
No, that's
what you said.
It's Finn Boxon the one we didn't say.
I said Fred Johnson. I'm only reading the tweet. Matt Spark.
Fred Johnson, aye.
Oh, no.
It is Fred Johnson.
Finn Boxon's the guy we didn't say.
He's the guy that we were that everybody wanted to sign.
I thought it was Finn Boxon. No.
I think you're really sure he was the guy that we didn't say.
Well, you're talking about Holbert Fred Johnson, aren't you? Young guy.
Young guy.
Aye.
Icelandic, was it?
Aye. That's what I'm talking about. I must be pronounced it wrong.
No, you're thinking about the guy everybody was talking about we need to sign. Is he not playing in Holland somewhere?
Oh, is that who that is?
Real Sociedad is it now?
Right, that's what I'm talking about. Right. Aye, it is Finn Johnson. Aye, right. Sorry. My mistake.
Yeah.
First time you've ever made a mistake on the podcast?
I've probably got it right somewhere along the line.
By the way, speaking of McGregor's been called up for the Scotland squad as well.
That's right. So is Craig Gordon after playing 2 games. That's shocking.
Then again,
see, when you think about it, you can understand fans of provincial clubs hate us. You know, somebody could spend their full career playing with like Motherwell or whatever. Then they come to Celtic and play one game, they get a call up. Do you know what I think?
Yeah. It's true. But then again, we do play the top level of football in the country, so...
Plus, he has got a track record with Scotland and all. Like,
I know. At the end of the day,
Alistair says here, players to go, Lee can go. We need a Naka type of player. As Commons does not look to be Ronnie's cup of tea long term.
It's here, but it's easy to say.
I think a lot is getting made of this because he never played him last week. And I think it's good to remember, Chris Commons is our best player, right? How is going to set? I don't think yet we've seen how Ronnie Dyler's system's totally going to be. I don't think we've seen it yet. But if he's going to play with two wingers and Stokes and say the Serb set, what's his name again? Serbian?
Skapovic or Skapovic?
Yeah, that's right. Is there going to be a place for Chris Commons in that team?
Well, personally, I don't think so. I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Because I think there's been a slight breakdown in the relationship because of Commons' latest contract demands, which I believe are in excess of $27,000 a week. Which, for a player, I mean, I agree, he's a fantastic player, he's had a great servant, etc. But for somebody the wrong side of 30, there's not a chance in hell that Celtic could be able to pay somebody that. And it would be a shame. I mean, his contract's going down, etc. But I also think as well that we need to. I've noticed this with a few sales balls where we need to. We always say what we need is, and it's always about a previous player. You know, we need somebody like him or somebody like him. It's like, you know, we just need a certain type of player. You know what I mean?
That's very easy.
Just get a new guy that brings something new.
Like players like Naka come along once.
I was going to say, it's very easy to say we need a Naka type player. That's like saying we need a Cruyff. You know what I mean?
Well, if we just had Larson again, I'm sure we'd be happy, like, you know.
It's going to be an interesting one though anyway with Chris Commons because, I mean, obviously I think there'll be interest in him and he probably could go and get that money in England. Do you know what I mean? Fair West Brom, like, no, they'll probably go on the $27,000 a week. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Commons before the end of this window.
It's because you're right, and it's okay saying like last season, Commons saying, I am wanting to spend the rest of my career, and his wife on Twitter and everything loves her and saying, but see when it comes into cold hard facts, you're sitting with your agent and you're saying, right, this is my last contract, you know, and it's all down to pounds and pence. So if Celtic are saying, right, we'll give you $17,000 or something, there might be 10 teams in England would give him more, and he's maybe only got one contract left, 3 years or whatever, 2 to 3 years, and the difference could be, I don't know, $200,000-300,000 at the end of that contract. So he's going to go where the money is, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think as well, if we're looking to make money. You'll get a few quid for Chris Commons. Do you know what I mean? He's not the kind of guy who's going to go away.
He's only got a year left in his contract, but
he's not going to go away for $1 million, like, no. I mean, I know it's just paper talk. West Brom $7.5 million. Whether you would get that, I don't know. But I think the way some of the clubs throw money about down there, you probably could get 4 or 5 million from him.
But he's out of contract at the end of this season.
I know. That's why I think
he could just sit there and go for nothing.
I could, but I think Celtic would actively sell him. I think if Ronnie Dyler doesn't fancy him and there's clubs down there looking at him and they're not going to hang on a year to get Chris Commons then until he's 32-year-old, I don't think. I think that a club would want, I think a club, if they wanted him, would want him there. I don't know if he gets $7.5 million.
No chance. If he's got a year left in his contract, you'd be lucky to get $1 million. Because he never done it in the Champions League for us, really.
Yeah, and I think that's it, Jason. I think if you're Peter Lawwell, you're sitting there saying, right, so if he doesn't play, can we replace his goals? Probably could. I mean, we lose anything for the Champions League? No. So that's it. That's all they'll. It's football as a coach. It doesn't matter charity work, whatever the hell he's done for the club in the past. At the end of the day, Celtic are not going to keep him about just for the sake of it. If they think they can get somebody who can do the job for less than what he's wanting or what they want somebody to give them or anything like that, they'll do it.
I agree 100%, but I disagree with Jason the fact that you'd only get like $1 million for him. I think that's wrong. Like I think you'd get 4 or 5 million for him.
Nah, because his stock, you've got to realise none of the top teams in England are going to touch him. right, for him getting 20, 30 goals in Scotland and no scoring money in the Champions League or anything like that, they're not going to bother. He's the wrong side of 30, and he's going to be regressing rather than improving. So he's already played with Derby County as well, and we paid 400 grand for him, or what? Much did we pay for him? Was it a few grand?
400 grand, aye.
400 grand. So at the end of the day, he was playing in England at his prime. Well, they would say his prime, he's 26, 27 or whatever, and he never done anything. Well, done very little. And you're looking at, he's been fantastic for us, but they'll be saying, who's he up against? You know, what oppositions have been scoring these goals for? And he's been invaluable to us, you know, but I think, no, I disagree, Harper. I would hope we would get that, but I know what you're saying about the money, throwing money about down there, but I think when you're looking at Swansea City and stuff like that, going for Spaniards and that, they're paying like 8-9 million for like Spaniards and things like that. These teams down there have got a few quid to spend. They want somebody that can step in.
But when I see the like say Ross McCormick,
but he's proved down there that he did it. Commons didn't it?
But what was it? Was it 11 million he moved for?
11 million.
I mean, that's what I mean. I mean,
you look at to your point as well, Harper. It's like you've got the boy Shane Long, who went for 7 million last January, scored 4 goals for Hull, and now he went for 12 million there.
Yeah.
£5 million profit in fucking 6 months for 4 goals.
I know.
We're in the wrong market. But then again, you're forgetting the fact. I mean, like, for instance, say if Chris Commons was genuine and his wife was genuine, and they do want to stay. I mean, there's a possibility they could bump his wages up slightly, and then say, listen, you're going to move on from this to another role at the club at some point. You know.
There was talk of that she said on that podcast that time that when she was on Desert Island Thames that he'd already been in discussions about maybe taking a coaching role on at Celtic and stuff like that, and they did want to finish his career at Celtic. And you take that at face value. I think that's probably right.
I hope he does.
If Jason says so, if Celtic's not going to give him the money and somebody else is going to give him that money, he's going to go.
Oh, and he's no. I actually saw him being interviewed last week. He hasn't even done any coaching badges or anything, so that's a long way off, you know.
Right, so it's going to be an interesting one with Chris Commons, but my gut feeling says I don't think Chris Commons will be here for much longer.
Well, I know for a fact when Craig Bellamy was at Celtic, Craig Bellamy would have signed with us in a heartbeat, but when he went back down south, he was getting double his wages what he was getting here. So the deal that Celtic were putting on the table, I don't know, say it was like 35 grand or whatever Celtic could give him a week. He was getting 70 in England. So he says, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
He says, I love it up here. He says, I'd love to play up here. But he says, there's a team down there is going to give me 70 grand a week. So he says, need to take it.
I mean, Scott Brown probably our highest earner, is he? I mean, what was Scott Brown going at Celtic?
25 or something?
28 it is, actually.
28,
He'll be your highest earner. So, as you say, do you give Chris Commons that same money? Just turned 31-year-old? Probably fine.
You can see the Commons' point of view. I mean, he's
100%.
With the season he had last season, you think you're going to get paid off, but I think a bit of reality creeps in and just says, well, Celtic aren't going to pay that kind of money.
No.
And he's getting older as well, so he obviously maybe toils with his weight a wee bit and things like that. I don't know, because a couple of seasons ago he looked as if he'd spent into summer in Burger King. But
I think also as well, his agent sent a message to clubs who might be looking at Chris Commons. Well, this is what he's willing to play for.
Aye.
This is the wages he's willing to take. You know what I mean?
Aye, and I think that's why that West Brom story appeared as well. You know, suddenly that's what we're, you know, if you're going to get the kind of wages, then how much are you actually worth? Because it's again, I think Dyla and Peter Lawwell's went on record numerous times saying we could pay 6, 7, 8, 9 million pound for a player, but we couldn't afford to pay their wages.
Yeah, right. And that's a fair point, because that is the killer. If you're getting somebody on a 4-year contract and they're wanting like 50 grand a week, you know, it's like, yeah, money here, that's just fucking well out of our league, you know. And to be fair, I don't want to pay that kind of money for players.
We don't need players that are
exactly
kind of players anyway. We just don't need them.
Exactly. You maybe need them for 3 games a season in the Champions League, and it's still no guarantees, because we could push the boat out. Say we could sign one marquee signing. Is that going to make a difference when we're playing Barcelona away or Man United away? No, really. It's no, because you've got